Hey yo, guys, girls, and everyone in between. This is Rebellious Pastry here, and this is my Q&A, aka the 29th episode of Audiogames, which I'm kind of surprised that this series have went as far as it did. And the fact that I still am having people be signed up for episodes of Pastry's Audiogames is also very astounding. So, I guess round of applause for Pastry's Audiogames. And then, so my announcements are, let's see here. The 30th episode of Audiogames is like literally next episode. So, yeah. And then another announcement is please go ahead and check out my first ever episode of in the Johnny Jam series. I would really love it if you guys were to go ahead and watch it and let me know what you guys think. And then what else? I got my community tab, so if you like what you see, please let me know that. And if you want me to change what I'm doing after this month, please let me know that as well. And then I know I said I was going to go ahead and do shorts for Inktober, which I might end up catching or like doing shorts after this weekend. It's just that IRL obligations have just been a lot lately. A lot of viral obligations these days are very, very demanding of me, so, hey, at least I dropped the ball on shorts, not dropped the ball on literally my quality, so there's that. And then, other than that, please go ahead and follow my Instagram, which is, Rebellious Pastry or Rebellious_Pastry. I'd put it in, but man, it is very similar to what I already have here on YouTube. So if you found this, you'll be able to find my Instagram probably. And if not, then just shoot me an email. Be like, hey Pastry, I cannot find your Instagram anywhere. Then I'll be like, okay, I'll go ahead and help you with that. But just in case, I think I'm going to actually post my Instagram because we actually have time here to go ahead and do so. So yeah. Just so you guys know that there's some things that are the same about my Instagram and my community tab, and there's even, someone's asking for my YouTube channel in my Instagram, so I'm gonna go ahead and send them that real quick. And then I'm gonna send you guys my Instagram, since, let's just say that there's some things I do the same on Instagram, and there's some different things I do on my Instagram than my YouTube. Gotta keep things interesting. So, another announcement is Dead End is okay. They just had some IRL obligations they needed to do. And I'm like, oh, since she drops the slot, might as well do the Q&A. So I don't have to scramble finding another guest, and so that I don't have to kick myself in the pants for not doing a Q&A. When I was doing my scheduling, I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to do a Q&A. What is fucking wrong with me? But yeah. Another announcement is there's been some weird energy going on at IRL obligations, so this is not a problem with the donut batch, but just be nice like you guys have always been. You guys were like my returning viewers have never been a problem. But mods, if there's anyone who feels like causing a problem, please go ahead and get them out of my face so that I don't have to kick him out. Yes, I'm mostly talking to you, Tass, but there's other mods on my channel that might hop in the chat. So, yeah. Anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and start by pulling up some things for the Q&A, including the Q&A itself. And as I was looking at the questions, some of these questions are literally answered by a video. So, I'm a very important video too. But it's okay if you guys miss videos here and there, because it's not like you're being paid to watch me. I don't even get paid here. I'm doing this for free. But yeah. Anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and start by... But yeah, everything's fine over at IRL Obligation. It's just IRL Obligation. I don't even know what to say here, but I'm gonna go ahead and sort by newest first and then scroll to the bottom. Alrighty. So, Q&A, or Q&A. Man. If Q&A... What? What's wrong with me? Freaking can't pronounce my own fan's name. QA. If you're watching this, you're probably gonna crop this out and make a meme out of this. But QA asks, was your first house a bakery? No. My parents weren't bakers at all. I do find it funny how, like, you even ask me that. My first ever, let's see here. Pretty much the only baker in my family is, my sister, but Sister Pastry only does baking as a hobby. She's a hobbyist baker, I guess one would say. She doesn't make any money off of it. She just likes to go ahead and make different kinds of cupcakes. She made me, like, cherry cupcakes for my birthday. Really good. And then she likes to make cakes, but mostly cupcakes. She's gonna try and go ahead and, like, brand her cupcakes, but she is having a kind of a hard time finding a name that isn't already taken, honestly. Like, I ended up going to searched up her name and her name was taken. So I'm like, just so you know, Sister Pastry, you literally chose a name that got taken. But since there's not as many questions in the chat. Oh man. Something dropped. Hold on. Let me go ahead and fix that. Why does my fan keep on dropping? Okay. Let me go ahead and fix this real quick. Sorry, that scared the living crap out of me. Sorry, this literally scared the living crap out of me, but anyways, so I forgot to do the important announcement, which is feel free to go ahead and ask me questions in the chat. Just please do a donut after the fact to make sure that I am reading the questions rather than accidentally reading in the middle of somebody's conversation, because that can get awkward real quick. But please note that even if you're not talking to me, I'm still paying attention to what you're saying. So don't go ahead and pick on each other in the chat, guys. But yeah, what was I doing before life decided to go ahead and crash on me? But yeah, do you think it's morally right to go ahead and eat donuts? Yes, actually. Rebellious Pastry, even though Pastry is my name, I am not a pastry. And Pastry the character is not a pastry either. Pastry the character is a mascot. Or I would say either a mascot or like a self-insert, whatever you would say. Pastry is a self-insert character, so I mean, they're not a pastry, so eating pastries are fine. Eating donuts are fine, even though I have one on my shirt. Not with the special like wallpaper or whatnot, but yeah. And then, so yes, it is morally okay to eat donuts. Why did you become a YouTuber? That, my friend, is the answer to that is in a video that I'm going to share right here. So, like I said before, it's not necessarily bad that you miss a video. It's just that, yeah. So to the people who asked me, let's see here. To Mista Boosta, and to, Malachite, to you two, the answer to your question would have to be in the Why Pastry video. So yeah. Why did you decide to become a YouTuber, and why did you decide to be an animator? Alrighty, so OG_GMG Animations asks, Question 1, hi. Question 2, what's better, pancakes or waffles? It depends, like, I think I remember someone asking me this before, but it depends, honestly. Because let's think about this. Pancakes are better to have something in them. Waffles are better to have something on them. Because I personally prefer like blueberry pancakes as opposed to blueberry waffles. But I do like to put, if I had like a blueberry jam or whatnot, then I would put it on the waffle. So, I've put jam on pancakes too, but jam on waffles is just different. And I have had blueberry waffles, but I feel like the pancake is a better structure for the for what's on. Yeah. Pancakes are better if you want stuff in them. Waffles are better if you want stuff on them. Also, you guys might think I'm weird for this, but I do not really eat syrup on my pancakes or waffles. I normally go with like sometimes honey, sometimes jelly. If I'm lucky, chocolate sauce or caramel sauce. I'm just not a big syrup person unless you're talking about the real maple stuff. But with pancakes, if there's stuff in the pancakes like chocolate chip or blueberry, then I tend to go ahead and then what's better, pancakes or waffles? Shoot, I totally lost my train of thought. It crashed. Help me here. But, I personally say I am on, like, I was saying stuff about chocolate sauce and syrup. Oh, yeah. The only syrup I like is the real maple stuff. So I normally opt to put different things on waffles. Which, I have a feeling that the question in the chat in the future is going to be like, Pastry, what do you put on your waffles? I'm going to just wait until that question just happens, though. And then, where is my donut? Now this might vary depending on what state this is in, but my easiest answer for you is to either go to Walmart, go to King Soopers, or whatever they call Kroger in your area. Go to Kroger, go to Costco, go to go to Costco. Wait, maybe. If you're wanting a huge batch of donuts, which 500, I guess. If you want 500 donuts, go to Costco, I guess. Bakeries sell donuts, but honestly, if I've ever promised you any donuts, they're not the type you eat. It's the type you watch. Because it's on my character's shirt. But yeah, and there's also like the emoji donut. Maybe that's what you thought I promised you. But yeah, if you're a donut, then what happens to the donut hole? I'm gonna say that pastry is not a donut. Pastry is a self-insert, like I said, for QA's question, Bob Bovine. But yeah, Pastry's a self-insert humanoid type character. I'd say Pastry's human. Just a cartoon character. Pastry's a humanized cartoon character. And then, why did you decide to animate? And then, as for Dave, why haven't you changed you've talked to me about changing your channel's name here, but because you have the full, mouthful, I'm gonna say the full mouthful, but Dave Travels Through Time Channel 2 asks, okay, my question is, do you find sirens annoying? Do you find semi-trucks and sirens annoying? It depends on what I'm doing, honestly. If it's in my ear, then of course it's going to annoy me. If I'm literally recording and I hear one really loudly in the middle of the street while I'm trying to record, then yes, that can be annoying. But if it's just like minding its own business and I'm not trying to do anything that involves sound, like maybe if I were to go ahead and like cross the street or whatnot, sirens don't annoy me. But I do understand the question though. People with hearing sensitivities tend to have problems with loud noises such as like sirens and semi-trucks. So I do understand the question. I personally don't have a hearing sensitivity, but I do understand. Thank you, good sir. Looking fabulous today. Anyway, I think you're talking to me. Thank you, Tass. Okay. All right. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Oh man, I'm gonna have to try and answer this question without being too religious here. Because, I understand I'm going to go ahead and answer it like this. I believe the chicken... Wait, no. Did the chicken come first or did the egg? It depends on... If I end up doing silly poll questions, then I might end up doing that as a silly poll question. But, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I'd have to say the egg, because maybe something that's not a chicken laid that egg. And then, think about this. Mutations happen all the time. Like, think about this. Some people are double jointed. And, like, there's certain, like, genetic mutations and whatnot. So, I'm gonna say the chicken, or the egg came first. And there was some type of, like, mutation there. Because, think about this. People have, genetically changed just due to like what have happened over the years. So, like, think about this. You have the most depressing version of this answer is cancer, but there's other totally harmless genetic mutations that happen. So, because genetic mutations are a thing, I'm going to go with the very scientific answer here and say the egg came first. And the reason why I'm going with the whole scientific rationale on this is because I want to, like, you guys can probably headcanon what religion I am, but I don't want to officially say what religion I am, because I want to, as long as you're not transphobic, or as long as you're not, like, homo or trans or aphobic, as long as you're not, like, being against the LGBTQ plus community, I want to be able to go ahead and have you in my batch. So, if I never say my religion on air, that is why. I want to make sure that people of all religions feel comfortable in my base. So, if you had $1 million, what would you do with it? For that answer, I would probably say, this is gonna be kind of a boring answer, but I would hyper upgrade all of my equipment and pretty much get all my needs met, then save the rest. I'd get everything that I would need paid for, and then I'd save the rest so that it could grow and make more money so that I can buy future needs, and then save the rest, and then buy. Yeah, so I'd probably just invest most of it for most of my life. And then I'd probably end up just doing YouTube as my job too. YouTube and investments would be my job then. I'd just buy everything I need and then save the rest. Do you like Night of the Living Dead? I'm gonna assume that's either a movie or a let's see here. I'm getting very off topic here. Whoops. Oh, do you like Night of the Living Dead? I'm gonna have to search up what this is real quick. Copy paste. Gotta love copy paste, man. Rebellious copy and pastry. Oh man. I do love making bad puns. It's a horror / sci-fi movie. Of course not. Let's see here. I think I've said and during most streams and during most I ended up saying on a stream before that I do have anxiety problems when it comes to horror movies. So I personally wouldn't like Night of the Living Dead. If it's just a movie, I'd say I'd be fine with it, but it's just kind of hard to go ahead and for me to sit and watch the movies because I personally like to, one, do things that actually contribute to the world, and two, like contributing an animation, and two, it's kind of hard to engage me with something that doesn't involve me moving and my brain. Owl House. And wait, if I was cool, this is not a question. This is a statement. Owl House and Amphibia, enough said. Where's the question? This is a Q&A, not an A&A. What's going on here? Here's the thing. I'm doing the A's. You guys need to do the Q's. How am I supposed to give A's out if I don't get Q's first? Alrighty. How do you like Inktober so far? I'm gonna say so far because I'm not done with it, but I'm gonna say this in the nicest way possible, but I believe Inktober is better than Witchtober because for me because I like how challenging it is. And later on down the road, alright, so I'm gonna say this. During what day was this? I'm gonna probably get very different answers than most other people just because of how my mind works, but during this may sound silly, but during day 4, which was scallop, I literally drew them cooked, and I drew my scallops cooked, and the animation station, I'm gonna find what the short he did, but what he did was he cooked it, or he drew it alive, and I drew it cooked. Oh, man. I don't even know what to even say. Oh, Tess, you have a wrench. Why don't you find your scallop video and, post it in the chat real quick? Oh, man. But yeah, it's very interesting. And I feel like my answers are also very interesting. But I'm willing to bet that most people did that day 4, like Tass did. My mind's just odd. And decided to go ahead and draw them cooked. Oh, man. And I think that's a part of the reason of why Inktober is Inktober, because it's an art challenge. Who knew that it was a translate what they're asking of you before you draw it challenge too? Let's see here. For day 6. Wait, no. For day 7. Trip can be interpreted in 2 different ways, too. So, it's definitely going to be very interesting what different artists do. But, yeah, please go ahead and check out Tass's video on what he did for day 4. Oh, man. It's very silly what different artists do with different things. I feel dumb now. Drawing the freaking scallops cooked. I'm sure whoever made the challenge did not expect that. But then again, expect the unexpected when it comes to me. It's very silly what I do. And this is why you guys decide to subscribe to me. Now, I know I'm supposed to be getting the, I know I'm supposed to be getting the Q's and giving the A's, but I have a question for everyone who's watching here. What would you guys do if I was just a completely serious channel that took everything serious all the time? If one day I just decided to do all this serious crap, I know I've done serious things on the channel before. If I were to go ahead and just completely switch it to completely serious all the time, the streams were serious, the videos were serious, I was serious, everything was serious, what would you guys do with that? And I'm willing to bet someone's gonna, at least one person's gonna say unsubscribe with that. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and read what, the next question. Brandon Mater pretty much, fell into my trap when it came to, like, questions to ask. Pastry, what do you put on your waffles? It depends on what I have to put on my waffles. Pretty much like anything sweet but barbecue sauce. Like any dessert condiment I'd put on a waffle. Jelly I'd put on a waffle. Let's see here. I'd put chocolate sauce, whipped cream, fluff, as in the Fluffinator, marshmallow fluff. I don't think I'd put peanut butter, unless I had jelly too. Caramel sauce, like I said. Chocolate sauce, like I said. Yeah, just pretty much almost any dessert condiment, honestly, I'd put on a waffle. But when it comes to the popular dish of chicken and waffles, most generally I do tend to separate my chicken and my waffle and eat it separately. I know that might sound weird, but that's pretty much most of the channel, honestly. But yeah. I feel like if we were doing some type of challenge of like renaming your channel, what you actually do, my name would be My Mind Being Weird. With animations. But then again, if you were to think about it, aren't almost all cartoonists odd? Like, think about why cartoonists choose to become cartoonists. Like, I guess, like, you can't really inherit becoming a cartoonist. Even if you had a copyright inherited to you, that wouldn't necessarily guarantee that you would become a cartoonist. So, most generally, I'd say, yeah. Anyways, now the answer to my question is, yeah, so my question that Tess answered for me is, what would you do if all of a sudden I just did serious crap all the time? Answer is, it would be pretty weird, but I would support it. I'm on it. Like, with the animation station, I'm not surprised by that answer because him and I have supported each other a ton. Like, I would probably say that out of all the, channels that I personally support, I would say TAS is pretty high up there as far as like the channels I support. Now, out of all the channels I support, the top of the list would have to be PK because I know them in real life. And them and I just really click. And then there's Tass. And then a channel that really supports me. And I kind of support him too by the name of Pilfer Pup. So I'm gonna put links. I'm gonna put a link to Pilfer real quick. But yeah, let's try to see if we can get him up to 700. But yeah, I know this is a very side tangent, but I just wanted to say me and Tass do support each other a ton, both in and out of the channel. Because that is what friends do, regardless of if you meet them in real life or meet them on the internet. Hopefully that's what your friends do. If not, then I'm concerned about your social choices. But that is honestly says more about you than it says about me. So if your friends don't support what you do, find new ones. I've even had to publicly do it. I've even had to publicly do it on air. But yeah, let's see here. Questions. I very tangent to the whole do you like Inktober question. It pretty much, and then I already answered the what do you put on your waffles by Brandomator, aka I told him to ask him that. I told him to ask that. But very good answer. Working on the logo. Saying currently, my friend. Are you... Now, my question is, are you currently working on switching your logo? Or are you currently... or are you currently making a new logo? Because I thought I already made... behind the scenes... Dave Travels Through Time asked me if I knew of any free logo creator. Logo creation websites. I'm like, I do. I don't know of any websites, but I do know of my hand. So I ended up creating a logo for him. Just as like a nice favor to do. Because I'm busy with animations don't mean I can't be nice. So yeah. I love Inktober. It has a special place in my heart. It was made this same month I was born, and it's a great challenge for the best time of year. I personally think temperaturely fall is the best time of year, but like when it comes to like activities, I'd say wait a minute. As far as like physical activities go, I think summer's the best. When it comes to temperature, I think winter. Fall into winter is better. As far as temperature goes. But my favorite activity could be done no matter what season and no matter how hot or cold it is. Because it's called animation. So I bet you didn't expect that out of me. But yeah. So. Scallops taste really good, to be fair. I was thinking more about eating scallops than I did the actual animal scallop. Does that make me sound... Please please feel free to ask more questions, because if you don't ask me questions, then I'm just gonna end up chewing on the ones I have. I'm kind of kidding about chewing, but not really. Like, if you guys don't ask more questions, then the questions I'm elaborating on is gonna eventually become like the type of... It'd be like if you were to go ahead and have a piece of gum and chew it for way too long. So please go ahead and feel free to ask me more questions, because if not, then this very stream will become very boring if I don't get questions. But yeah. Oh, there's the Inktober drawing I'm working on. I'm personally, like, some people might say this is cheating, but this is just me lifing. But, like, I'm working on things a few days ahead of time, just in case something happens to where I can't draw for a day. So that... So if I were to, let's say one day, I end up, getting sick. But then again, to be fair, I would draw even if I was sick. But if for some odd reason I can't draw for a day, then I would still have something to post. And then, alright. How do you like your Instagram? I would say, let's see here. I've been doing Instagram since August, but I didn't share with you guys that I had it because I wanted it to be a surprise for hitting 500, which good job, Donut Batch. But, how do I like Instagram? When it comes to posting, Instagram is more hashtag heavy, and what I do on YouTube's more description heavy. So I personally like, it depends on how I'm feeling, but with Instagram, and hopefully this changes soon, but with Instagram, I'm having more spam comments than real comments. Like, I literally almost get no real comments on Instagram versus on YouTube, I get mostly real comments with a random, like, bot here or there. So when it comes to, if I had to choose between YouTube and Instagram, YouTube all the way. But Instagram... Oh man, Taz. Yeah, you almost did. Then I took the comment down. I took the comment down and was like, how dare you, Taz? Which, Taz has a merch store. Oh, man. Would you, for everyone who isn't in Taz's base, would you believe me if I were to say, I was the one that started the whole Taz thing? I literally started the Taz thing, and now Taz literally calls himself Taz. Whoa. What a concept. I took it down too, lol. But I took it down first, Taz. Deal with it. But yeah, when it comes to Instagram, I like the fact that I can just draw random crap and post it. But that is true with the community tab, but what I feel like I tend to, with YouTube, I feel like I can get to know my base better over there, which hopefully the Instagram base and the donut batch, or both of the batches, merge soon. Because, like, the thing is that with YouTube, I get to know my base more and how they act and how they feel about things. But with Instagram, it's just a post and it's done. But what is your favorite kind of gum flavor? With gum, I personally prefer the real sugar ones over, like, artificial sweeteners because, like, Yes, like, with the sugar-free gum, if I have too many, pieces a day, then I'm gonna go ahead and if I were to have too many pieces of sugar-free gum in a day, then I would get a headache because I have a aspartame intolerance. But I personally like the classic, like the bubble gum, and the extra gum is good. But if I have too much extra gum, then again I get a aspartame intolerance headache. Which I could do a video on having an aspartame intolerance if you guys would want a video on an aspartame intolerance. But aspartame is a sugar. It is the most popular. Hopefully not for very much longer, but it is a very, very popular artificial sugar that if you have way too much of it, and too much is depending on how much depends on the person, but my very too much would be much lower than your very too much for personal reasons. But if you were to have way, like, let's say that you decide to have aspartame every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and even snacks. Like, if you were to cut out all sugar and replace it with aspartame, then there's probably a good chance of you having a seizure because of what happens to when it comes to aspartame. So I know this is very tangented, but I am one of those people that say artificial sugar is worse for you than the real stuff. So, yes, artificial sugars don't have calories, but they do have chemicals. But I personally think chemicals are worse than calories. But I have a feeling you guys... I just drank some water, but I have a feeling you guys didn't subscribe for, health advice. But I'm just putting my water bottle down. But if you ever take any advice from me, I seriously hope that it is, don't eat too much aspartame. But most diet sodas have aspartame. Most. I can't really, Pepsi said. Aspartame isn't on donuts though, right? It depends on if you get, for every, hello Jeff B, but for every thing that has sugar in it, except for cotton candy, I think, but there's a way to put aspartame in donuts, but I wouldn't recommend it. I personally think aspartame, so if I were to have a diet soda, then I would have a headache that would result in me being laid up for the rest of the day. So I personally think that aspartame is poison, and you should go ahead and stay away from it. But you guys didn't subscribe for me you guys didn't subscribe for an aspartame rant, so I'm gonna go ahead and just move on to the next question. Yes, indeed, you did. I literally call myself Tass in the third person sometimes. Okay. How do you like the Instagram? answered that. What is your favorite gum flavor? I think I said the extra gum. But if I had too much of it, then I'll have a headache. 1 piece isn't gonna kill me. 2 pieces ain't gonna kill me. Or cause me to have a headache or worse. But I definitely try to get real sugar stuff when possible. Does anyone here watch NASCAR? I personally don't pay attention to any type of sport or anything, but also Jeff B, are you new here? If so, welcome to the donut batch. They do not bite. Unless you try to bite me, then they'll bite. But I don't think that's a very common problem here. But yeah, do you like Spirit Halloween? The store? Let's see here. Would I go to one by myself? No. If someone asked me if I wanted to go, would I go? Probably. Unless I'm like very behind on a video. So, would I go to a Spirit Halloween? Only if someone else invited me to one. I most generally... But yeah. My answer is I would go if someone else asked me to. Which I have a very long list of activities that it's just a whole like, I would go if someone asked me, but I wouldn't do it myself. If it was just by myself. Because if I'm just by myself, why not just work on a video? But yeah. You've been subbed for a couple weeks now? Well, welcome to our chat then. Most generally, if you've been subbed for a while but not chat, please say so, because whenever I see a new name, I just automatically assume that they're new to the channel, unless like how I pretty much like keep track of like who's been subbed for how long is just like I tend to be very interactive in the comments and just in life, so yeah. If you want me to know who you are, please comment at least somewhat. Because how else am I supposed to know if you're subbed to my channel or not? Yes, the number goes up, but unless what you're subscribed to is turned on, then I won't see that you're subscribed. I just see that the number go up. I don't see who that number is, but I see the number come up. So yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and go on a side tangent here because there's not really not any new questions, but when it comes to like things to do, I tend to go ahead and go to most things that people ask me to do, but there's just some things that I just will not do. You could not ask me to do it. Like you could ask, but my answer is always going to be no. Let's see here. Anything that involves severe heights, I just will not go on anything that, like, unless it's like a roller coaster where you're like belted in and stuff moves for you, then I'll go ahead and go on like roller coasters and stuff like that. But if it's like skydiving, or if it's like ice climbing or any type of climbing as well. Just like, I'm not a big climber. Most generally, when I do stuff, I most personally prefer if the land is flat. So I can run or walk without having to be concerned about tripping on something. But honestly, with me, I could also make a video about being clumsy, but with me, there's always a concern about if I'm gonna trip on something or not. Because, fun fact, humans have 2 feet. And I could literally trip over my own foot. I literally, like, when it comes to, like, something that takes great athletic ability, I tend to be the one that's, like, makes the joke of, I'm okay with air travel by any means. Just, I'm okay with air travel as long as I'm not in the emergency exit row. Like, whenever people are like, are you okay with sitting in the emergency exit row? If not, please go ahead and ask someone else if they're willing to sit in the emergency exit row. Most generally, unless, like, my parents are with me, I most generally would say that I'm not gonna take the emergency exit row because I personally do not normally have a fear of the plane crashing, but if I'm in the emergency exit row, then I'd be afraid of the plane crashing. If you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm okay with air travel. But when it comes to, like, things that I can literally, like, yes, you could look down, but, like, as long as I'm secured to something, like, secured as in, like, belted in, as long as I'm belted in and I don't have to move, I'm fine. Which, honestly, with bunk beds, I know they have the guardrails, but if someone literally asked me to sleep on the top bunk, then I would just take the mattress from the top and just sleep on the floor. But anyways, are you dressing up for Halloween? Shoot. I haven't thought about Halloween yet. I should probably I don't even know what I'm doing for Halloween. I'm gonna just see what happens. Who invites me to what will decide what I am doing on Halloween. But as for now, I don't have any plans for Halloween, but I probably should get a new costume. It's been years since I've gotten a new costume. You know what? I don't really spend that much money. I might as well just get a new costume. But yeah. What am I gonna be? I honestly don't know yet. I'm gonna think of things to be. I couldn't be Rebellious Pastry because I'm literally Rebellious Pastry. But it would be interesting if one year my channel became popular and I ended up getting paid off the channel, and then, like, I literally see kids dressed up as my character being like trick-or-treaters. If I were to see someone dressed up as my character as, like, a Halloween costume, I'd probably give them an extra piece of candy. Just because, like, but I wouldn't tell them why I gave them an extra piece. How's that for being tricky? But then again, if I were to talk to the trick-or-treaters, then people might guess that I'm Pastry, but then again, I do sound like, I've had someone say that I sound like their classmate when I wasn't. But yeah. But then again, had people tell me that I have a very distinct sounding voice. We'll just cross that bridge when we get there. Honestly. I don't even know what I'm doing for my Halloween video yet. And who I'm gonna have on for Halloween audio games. Wow, I really gotta go ahead and, like, get everything flattened out for Halloween. Because I've been too preoccupied with Inktober. Man, Inktober keeps me extra busy. And just trying to figure out what video I'm doing when. But yeah, why don't you guys ask me more questions so that I can answer more questions? Because, like, if you don't ask me questions and then I end the stream early, then you're like, Pastry, when are you gonna do another Q&A on my next episode of Audiogames? I'm not gonna be too happy. I'm gonna be like, I literally did it last week, guys, girls, and in-betweeners. But yeah, just a disclaimer on the hobby interview show. When you ask questions for the hobby interview show, please keep on topic. Because if you don't keep on... Here's what I'm gonna probably start doing. If you ask a question that is not on topic to me during the hobby interview show or to my guest that isn't relevant, I'm gonna delete that comment. I think I'm gonna just start. Oh man. I gotta balance Inktober, birthday video, and Halloween video. Yikes. Now, my suggestion to you would be just, like, what comes first? Your birthday or... What comes first? Your birthday or Halloween? If your birthday comes first, which that is my guess, work on your birthday video whenever you have time. And then finish your... Let's see. What kind of music do I listen to? That's a good question. It depends on what mood I'm in, and it just, like, it fluctuates. Like, during an IRL obligation, I had, like, someone tell me about their playlist, and their playlist being, like, super random. Like, they had let's see here. They had some Western song next to pop, which was next to a pirate jig, which was, yeah. I honestly, like, when it comes to music, I don't really have a method to my madness with it, because it's like, whatever sounds good, man. But, this is gonna sound kind of odd from a person like me, but when it comes to serious songs, if it's done right, then, like, then I'm a very big fan of things that take a while to make. I'm a big fan of just because I'm a content creator. But, like, if a song is written well and if it sounds good, then I'll try to listen to it, and if I like it, then I'll continue listening to it. But as of now, let's see here. I just feel like if a serious song is done well, then, like, there's a song about how there's a song about how does one say this? This is gonna be very odd, but, like, how our present greed might affect future generations. I think it tends to have more to do with, like, industries just like being bad to the environment or whatnot, but it's basically like a song about how we should be greedy for future generations. But I personally like a good song that is actually channel appropriate would have to be Blood in the Water, which it basically goes about how, like, I'm talking about this, but like I'm the type of person that likes to go ahead and like take serious stuff seriously because like it's serious. Why don't you take a serious topic seriously? And like if you were to create an engaging song about something serious, then I have massive amounts of respect for those people because it's like it's very hard. I know I'm going in circles with my words, but like think about how hard it is to create something that's engaging and serious at the same time. But yeah, I used to be called Mischief Night Animation. Alrighty, and then what kind of art supplies do you like the most? Let's see here. I've been taking an art class during our obligation, and let's just say that you probably saw this one coming from me. But, let's see here. My nightmare medium would have to be, like, I'm gonna tell you about, like, what I'm bad at. But, I'm bad at painting 3D objects, especially if they're small. I'm bad at painting 3D objects, but my favorite equipment is my digital drawing equipment. But I really like the, you know how, like, there's these artist pencils with, like, different, like, they feel different when you draw with them? There's, like, the B some numbers, and then there's the H some numbers, and then, yeah. I like those pencils, too. But, yeah, it just depends on, I'll try anything. I honestly, like, I personally, like, I don't think this is a shocker, but I prefer to draw digitally as opposed to, like, pencil and paper. But pencil and paper feels nice, too. Depends on what I'm doing, honestly. I literally had to, for this IRL obligation, which I'm gonna post this on the Instagram soon, but, not on the community tab because I want people to actually go to my Instagram for things, but I have this art piece that I literally made with ink, nature, glue, and paper. And and I pretty much just drew pastry with ink at that point. Brandimator, you need to get original questions here. You've already asked me this. Like, I think it was on your channel, though. Which is better? Cake or ice cream? Answer. Ice cream cake. Which is better? Pizza or burgers? Depends on the day, honestly. And it depends on... it depends on how experienced the cook is. Because, like, it depends on how good the pizza is. And it depends on how good the burger is. And it depends on, like, if it's a thick burger or if it's a thin burger. It also depends on the day. Honestly, for the, which is better, pizza or burgers. At IRL obligation, I would say that their pizza's better than their burgers, but when it comes to if it's a really done burger versus really done pizza, like really well done pizza or really well done burger, I'd go for the if it's really done both, then I'd go for burger because it's harder to find a really well done burger, which I like my burgers done medium rare. Like, I like them as undercooked as you can get them without being dangerous. So that would be medium rare, I think. But if it's a thick burger that was overdone, then I would go for pizza. But yeah. Do you play an instrument? I used to. Now, I used to play an instrument. I don't play an instrument anymore because, let's see here. I did it as an IRL obligation thing. And then COVID hit. And I'm like, do I really want to keep doing this? I literally have this animation YouTube channel that I really need time for. And I also have this instrument that I really need time for. What would I much rather do with my life? This YouTube channel or my instrument? And I used to play the violin, which, for whatever reason, my hand didn't, so with the violin, you have the top position, then you, slide down. For whatever reason, my hand really did not like to go to third position from first position and back. My hand just didn't like that, So I used to play the violin. Let's just say that when it came to the orchestra I played in, I was never first violin. First violin had harder pieces. First violin also had, pieces where, you had to shift. And I really didn't like to shift. Also, depending on the day, the E string, before you guys say anything, I'm talking about violin strings here. But, the E string sometimes annoyed the crap out of me because of how high-pitched that sucker is. And then, let's see here. And if you were to try to do third position on the E string, then that is just very high when it comes to, everything. Except for the person playing it, of course. Hopefully. But, yeah, I used to play an instrument. I could make some orchestra stories. It's just that, I'd have to be careful about what I say with the orchestra stories. But yeah. I enjoyed it while I had it, but I'm happy I don't do it anymore. How do you like your orange juice? Pulp or no pulp? Brandometer might kill me for this one, but I'm gonna have to say, pulp or no pulp. If it has too much pulp, then it tastes like crap. If it has no pulp, then it tastes like crap. So, I would have to say easy on the pulp, or easy to medium on the pulp, because if it has too much pulp, then it's too thick. If it has no pulp, then it doesn't taste quite right. So I'd say light pulp. Or easy pulp. I'm gonna see if it's light or easy. Easy pulp. Orange juice. I'm not finding easy pulp orange juice. Wait. Hold on. Some pulp. There's like a... But yeah. I'm getting sidetracked here. But, yeah. As far as orange juice goes. But yeah. I'm gonna answer that a different way as well and say... If I had to choose between apple juice or orange juice, I'd go with apple juice. If I had to choose between cranberry and orange juice, I'd choose orange juice. Imagine if I just made a video, which I personally would do this, but it's kind of out of my range of what I do on this channel. But if I didn't specialize in storytime animation, then I'd probably make like a juice tier video saying what types of juice I like from greatest to least. Greatest to least. Like, I'm gonna be very clear here and say, when I say this, I mean the actual stuff you get from the juice aisle. Not what some people might think. But, the channel appropriate grape juice is top tier. Like the purple grape juice. Or I guess technically red grape juice is probably the top of my juice tiers. And then I think my lowest would probably have to be grapefruit, because if I had to choose between grape juice or grapefruit or starve, I'd probably starve until I'm almost to death. But I just really don't like grapefruits. I really don't like grapefruits. But almost any other juice will do. Do you enjoy road trips? It depends. Let's see here. Tass, you would understand me when I say this, but, so with road trips, it depends on how long it is, who's in the car, and who is driving, and if you're driving. It depends on who's in the car. If it was the Storytime crew, which the Storytime crew is just a group of Storytime animators that chill with each other. Kind of like the Animation Squad, but newer generation. But if you're a Storytime animator, please email me after this, but so that you guys can go ahead and be included in that group. But so if it was the Storytime crew and Tass was driving, I'd have a good time. Because the reason why I say depends on who's in the car and depends on who's driving separately is because would they go ahead and stop? Well, let's say with the road trip, let's say that for whatever reason, you need to pull over for whatever reason, if you needed the bathroom or if you needed something, and then if the driver was uncooperative, then that would be no fun. But if you have a good driver that actually pays attention to what you might need, and as long as the people in the car aren't annoying, then the road trip is fun. So it depends on how long it is, who is in the car, and who is driving. How's that for an answer, the animation station? Let's just say that if I was in the car with a ton of transphobes, then I would not have a good time. If I was in the car with the donut batch, then I'd have a good... Then I'd wonder how I got there. But, like, it depends on who's in the car and what they're doing. Or who's in the car, who's driving, how long it is. What's a good road trip destination for you? So I live in Colorado, so I'd say Utah. Utah's a good road trip destination because you've got like, I'm in Colorado, so like New Mexico or Utah would be a good road trip. I did during COVID. I ended up doing a road trip to Tass is like somewhere to a nice quiet beach side town. I'm just talking about distance, man, but Utah's a good one. New Mexico, because they're like right next to Colorado. And then like I ended up going to the Grand Canyon and having a grand old time at the Grand Canyon and stuff like that. So, yeah. We also did like a ton of like it was like a COVID canyon trip was what we did our last road trip for. Like whenever I go back home from IRL obligation, it's like 5 hours between or 4 to 5 hours depending on traffic. Most generally, whenever like the road trip happens, I most generally just write scripts in the car. Unless I get, like, sometimes I get car sick, but not really. But yeah, Tess and everyone else in the chat. But do you guys agree with me when I say it depends on who's in the car? Because, let's see here. Branimation. Let's see here. Branimation. Or Branimator. I'm so sorry. I keep on... Oh. Hey, the animation station. Do you think you would have fun with a road trip if I was in the car with you? Probably. Unless I was just having a really rough day that day. Which I would try not to. But yeah, hold on. Ever since you guys mentioned the whole, gum question, I have this, like, orange Lifesaver mint that's not a mint that I've been craving for some odd reason. But I'm gonna wait until after stream for that. But yeah, oh man. Which is better, mayo or ketchup? Mayo all the way. All the way. I have a story that I'm probably gonna save for a video. But let's just say, as a child, I sat near someone that did not know how to eat ketchup. And that ended up traumatizing me on ketchup for forever. Like, if a burger automatically comes with, ketchup, then I'd go ahead and like be annoyed but eat it anyway. But for whatever reason, ketchup just does not sit well with me. And people have tried putting ketchup on my plate, and I've gotten annoyed by people putting ketchup on my plate. And I'm like, never put ketchup on my plate again. Interesting thing about having a YouTube channel is you definitely don't want to get, I'm just grabbing a little snack real quick, but you don't ever want to get on the bad side of a YouTuber. Because who knows? You might end up finding one day that they end up making a video about you. But that's beside the point. God damn it. I'm hungry. But hold on. I'm back. Just had like I'm just a little hungry. But yeah, I'd say yeah, imagine the animation crew. Like this could be a skit. Animation crew goes on a road trip. And another thing with the road trip question is it also depends on how often we stop. Because if we were to go ahead and if we were to never stop, then it'd be painful. If we were to stop too much, then it'd be painful in a different way. But yeah, I feel like a good mixture of like stops and just like enjoying each other's company, it'd be good. It just like I can think of good scenarios and I can think of disaster scenarios. Like whenever I think about going on a road trip with somebody and having someone else driving, which I don't have my driver's license yet. Maybe one day. Not. Speaking of food, I'm gonna eat. See you next time. Bye, Tass. I platonically love you. See you in the future to come. And after October, I have some great plans for the community tab. Like, you'll see. But yeah, it depends on, like, a question I tend to ask myself is, if I would go on a road trip with so-and-so driving, would so-and-so stop if, let's say, I got really hungry or I really needed the bathroom or something? Would they stop? If their answer was yes, then sure, I'll go on a road trip with them. If not, then I would probably say no thank you. It just depends on the person again. But, who's your favorite? Peach? Princess Peach? Daisy or Rosalina? Let's see here. I'm gonna start by saying that this might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't care. But I honestly think that Peach is too dainty to be. Like, Peach is too dainty and feminine. to be fun. And then you've got, who else? Then you've got, with Daisy, I think Daisy tends to be who I tend to, would say, like, personality-wise, I would say Daisy's the best. Like, if you were to put Pastry in the room with any of, like, Peach, Daisy, and Rosalina, then put Pastry in with Daisy, because they both are, like, very similar in, like, how they act, besides the whole, like, femininity versus masculinity thing. But, side question. Can you guys hear the random crap that's going on in the hallway? If so, I'm so sorry. I can't control what silly nonsense my neighbors do. Which, and speaking of silly nonsense, they kind of made me tired today by staying up way too late last night. But to be fair, it was our real obligation. Kind of have to deal with that sometimes. But yeah. But yeah. Sorry, I just needed to go ahead and put my, but yeah. My answer is for Princess Peach, Daisy, or Rosalina is, I like Rosalina's style, but if I had to be put in the room with one of them, it'd be Daisy. Peach would be too needy. Like, man, if you had to put me in a room with Princess Peach, I'm sure only one of us would make it out alive. And it wouldn't be her. But with Daisy, Daisy's just like a good-spirited princess that is just like, hello, my sketchbook. This is a Q&A, so ask me questions, and I'll go ahead and give you a long-winded answer, because I literally am getting almost no questions sometimes. But yeah, as for Peach, like, imagine if you had to go ahead and be stuck in a room with a pathetic princess. Like, unless you're personally very feminine, I don't think that being stuck in a room with Peach would be fun. Honestly. I'd wonder what I did wrong at that point. But, my personal favorite princess, as far as the Nintendo ones go, is Zelda. Because, like, this is only a theory. A game theory. Gay theory. Just kidding. But there's some headcanons that Princess Zelda is gender fluid. Which, some people would say Sheik is just a disguise, but some people would say, I don't know. But, my favorite is Princess Zelda just because of how well done she is as far as a character goes. How dare you not put Zelda in the question, Branimator? Also, this is something I wouldn't have said on the channel like 2 years ago, but I'm gonna say it now. Princess Zelda is pretty attractive. When it comes to like cartoon characters, I'm attracted to cartoon characters for some odd reason, but real people, it's just like, no. Apparently. The Cupid's just like, you're gonna be single forever. Gee, thanks, Cupid. Thank you for giving me extra money and, extra money and extra time. Extra money to spend on tea and extra time to work on animations. Now, this is a totally random side tangency question here, but do you think the Cupid is aro? Do you think he's an aromantic? Because if you were to look at the Cupid, has the Cupid ever been matched with anybody, or does he just match other people with other people? And if the Cupid were to match himself with somebody, and then that somebody disagreed, what are they gonna do? Go back to the Cupid about it? Oh man. Do you think that Cupid is aromantic? Type 1 in the chat for yes. Type 2 in the chat for no. Type 3 if you just want me to shut up and you're just gonna ask me another question. But yeah, What is your favorite? Let's see. What's your favorite? Pencil, pen, or paintbrush? I've been doing, let's see here. All of those get messy on the hands. I'm that person that whenever they paint, they somehow get paint on their arms. So paintbrush definitely isn't it. But, pen, I'm gonna have to say pencil for this one. Because you can do more with pencil than you can do with any others. So, with pencils, you can write. You can draw. You can turn it into rubber. Quote unquote, turn it into rubber. You can go ahead and stack up a ton of them and do many different things. But yeah. It just depends on what I'm doing, but most generally pencil. But yeah. So, does that answer your question? Pencil. Cupid seems a bit young, but I like his style, bringing peeps together. Now the question is, if there was an Anti-Cupid, would this Anti-Cupid be the one to make everyone aromantic that got shot by one of their arrows? Imagine if someone made, like, an Anti-Cupid. I personally would find a lot of joy in that. Honestly. But let's go for Anti-Cupid. Imagine if I made Anti-Cupid. That'd be a fun thing. But yeah. Cupid seems a bit young, but I like his style, bringing people together. I wonder if the Cupid ran out of arrows or is really bad at aiming when it comes to shooting me with his arrows. Or maybe the Cupid's just so supportive in my YouTube channel that he's like, if I were to give this person a partner, then the partner would prevent them from making videos, so no thanks. I don't even know anymore. But yeah. How about Anti-Cupid would just off people with arrows? But the thing is that if you were to go ahead and make an Anti-Cupid, wouldn't Anti-Cupid make people aromantic? Aromantic people are interesting. Aromantic people are interesting. Do you want to know, like, random side conversation, but do you want to know what makes me happy in life? Whenever someone asks me if I'm a male or a female, and oh man, let's see, I was talking about aromanticism, wasn't I? Oh yeah, right. Oh, it brings me joy whenever someone asks me if I'm a male or a female, and my answer is neither. It just makes me so happy for me to say neither. Honestly. Male or female? Neither. DC or Marvel? Let's see here. I'm sorry for this, but is Loki DC or Marvel? Also, I'm surprised there's not as many questions about I'm surprised that there's not many questions about Anti-Pastry, even though I literally just announced their voice. Like, why isn't there any questions about Anti-Pastry? I'm not trying to be judgmental. I'm just trying to say it like it is. Like, I would love to answer questions about Anti-Pastry, but there's no questions about Anti-Pastry, so I can't go ahead and tell you about Anti-Pastry. But yeah, so, alrighty, sorry, I'm getting distracted, but I'm just waiting for more questions. But, oh, I would have to say Marvel then. Loki's character design, I'm not sure if Loki's a villain or if he's an anti-villain, but regardless, I really like his character design, honestly. So, Marvel. And then, let's see here. Is fish friends or food? Oh man. Let's see here. The last time I interacted with fish, I ate it. But if I had someone have a pet fish, then I would not eat a pet fish. But if the fish was not a pet and was just a fish, then it depends on if it's on a plate or in a tank. Because, like, if it's on a plate, then I'll eat it. If it's in a tank, then I won't eat it. Randomation. Is it in a tank or is it on a plate? If Thanos were to try to If Thanos were to try and destroy the world, would Anti-Pastry help Pastry save it? No. Anti-Pastry would go ahead and pretty much, let's see here. Anti-Pastry, I'm still working on the development for them, but they, like, Anti-Pastry probably will not be fully so Anti-Pastry is kind of like, I'm gonna have them or her. I'm gonna actually have Anti-Pastry be a her. Since I get called she all the time and it just degrades me sometimes. I'm gonna have Anti-Pastry be a she. But I'm gonna have her be a, like, I'm gonna have her be like a kind of nightmarish character. Like, she's gonna be human, but she's gonna have some spiritual elements to her. Meaning that, like, she is basically like your brainwashing villain. So, I mean, I think what would happen here is Anti-Pastry would brainwash Thanos into not destroying the world, but destroying Pastry. So, I guess then technically Anti-Pastry would go ahead and save the world, but then Pastry would be screwed. So, yeah. But yeah, as far as the fishy question goes, if I were to catch it, would I eat it or would I let it go? It honestly depends on how brutal the hook. Or actually, I would eat it because, like, if I'm gonna sit there if I were to sit there fishing all day, and if I only caught one fish and didn't eat it for dinner, then I would be very disappointed in myself. So I'd eat the fish, honestly. But then again, I'd have to de-gut it first. I'd eat the fish because why would I go fishing to catch something and not eat it? Honestly, for that question, if I were to go ahead and let's see here. But yeah, I would eat a fish if I caught it. Because yeah, I'm not a big fisher just to enjoy the fishing type person, but then again, it is very hard to catch a fish in Colorado, fun fact. So maybe that might be part of it, but if I'm just gonna sit there waiting for something to happen, I might as well have my hand on the clicker or have me sit down and have my hand on the clicker and just click and make videos. At that point, if I'm sitting there doing nothing, quote unquote nothing, then I might as well just be working on a video. But then again, if someone would ask me if I wanted to go fishing, it would probably depend on how good of a backlog I had on YouTube. But next question is, would Anti-Pastry be a good Halloween outfit for you? No. Anti-Pastry and Pastry are two different characters. So basically, Pastry. So you know how, like, my personality is on the channel, and for those who interact with me off the channel as well. If you were to take my personality and use it for the worst, if you were to take the type of personality I have and like do negative things with it instead of the positive things for it, then that's pretty much anti-pastry for you. But anti-pastry also, like, anti-pastry is a mental degrader as far as like her as a character goes. And the reason of why anti-pastries are her is, I've already said this, but like I'm working on t-shirt models, but I'm gonna have anti-pastry being the female model and pastry being the male model because chest dysphoria is a thing. I probably wouldn't make a video on that just because it's just like it would depend on time and place for if I make a video on chest dysphoria. But yeah. People are talking in the hallway again. Oh well. But so does anyone have any more questions for me, or do you guys want me to just go ahead and do closing announcements and call it good? I'm good either way. Just, I need to get off by 6. Anti-pastry is more of a mirror universe type then. Yeah, kind of. But the thing is that, anti-pastry's cis. And I've debated on if think about this. Pastry is ace. Should I make anti-pastry pan? That is my question here. I might turn that into a poll question, honestly. But I want to get all the Inktober stuff over with before I decide to do random polls. But, yeah, so, anti-pastry would kind of be opposite universe, but anti-pastry would be pastry, but as a villain. Like, you know how good-natured pastry, or how good-natured I am, but yet I have a lot of energy most of the time? Imagine if someone were to use that and just, like, be bad with it. That'd be anti-pastry. But yeah, as for anti-pastry, I'm gonna go ahead and open up that short. Oh. Pastry now has a voice. Hello, audio. I can't hear the audio, but hopefully you can. But if not, then go ahead and check out this short for what anti-pastry sounds like. But yeah. Anyways, I think I'm gonna actually go into closing announcements now so I can have dinner and then go to IRL obligation. So, closing announcements are, thank you guys, girls and in-betweeners, for joining me for my Q&A. And, yeah, if you're not subscribed already, or I'm not gonna even say that, man. But thank you guys for watching. And then, next week is going to be, oh man, what is next week gonna be? I'm not gonna even say what next week is gonna be because the last time I did that, plans changed on me. So I'm just gonna say, meet ya next week for something. And, yeah. This is going to be the last Q&A I do this year. because I'm gonna probably do like more of a structured, like, okay, I'm gonna do 3 Q&As a year, or 2 or 4 or whatever I feel like doing. But yeah, anyways, please check out my Instagram and follow it. And please be excited for my drawing practice this weekend that I'm gonna post. And yeah, oh, I keep on forgetting that I have a new outro. But yeah, I platonically love you, my donut batch, and see you in a future to come. Bye.